You are doing everything right. The carbs look perfect, the keto foods are clean, and still nothing. The scale barely moves, your breath meter stays low, and you are hungry again 2 hours later. That is not weak willpower. That is a blocked system. Ketosis is not a vibe, it is a switch. If that switch keeps flipping off, something you are eating, sipping, or timing is keeping the door shut. Ketosis has one gate, and it doesn't care about your food labels. Moving to slide 2. Ketosis has one gate, and the gate is insulin. Not zero insulin, just low enough, long enough, that your liver stops prioritizing glucose and starts making ketones. Every time insulin rises, your body shifts toward using incoming fuel, and releasing stored fat slows. When insulin drops, fat is released from storage, your liver can turn some of that fat into ketones, and your glucose demand falls because you are running more on fat and ketones. Here's the part that frustrates people. The gate recloses fast. You can spend hours building momentum toward ketosis. Then one insulin bump from food, drinks, or constant grazing can shut ketone production down again. That is why someone can be low carb on paper but never see steady ketones. If you want ketosis to show up, you need fewer insulin spikes across the day, not just fewer carbs at dinner. And for most people, the easiest insulin spikes to miss are the ones hiding in keto-looking foods. Moving to slide 3. Hidden carbs add up quietly. Sauces and dressings can turn a 0-carb meal into 10 carbs fast. Nuts and nut butters are easy to overportion. Deli meats and jerky often carry sugar or starch. Dairy is a repeat offender, especially flavored yogurt, coffee creamers, and keto ice creams. Restaurants love seasoning blends that include sugar, maltodextrin, or flour. Ketosis does not break from one big mistake. It breaks from small ones stacked all day. And net carbs can make that stack look invisible. Moving to slide 4. Net carbs can lie in a few predictable ways. First, fiber tolerance varies. Some people handle a lot of added fibers fine, others see glucose rise and ketones drop. Second, sugar alcohols are not all equal. Erythritol is usually minimal for blood sugar, while maltitol can act a lot more like sugar for many people. Third, labels can round down. If a serving says 0.4 grams of carbs, it can print as 0, and 3 servings later, it is not 0. Then portions creep bigger than the label serving, and tracking apps often misread products or pull outdated entries. If ketosis matters, test your keto treats like they are experiments. Keep the ingredients simple. Track total carbs for a week, and watch what your hunger and ketone readings do. If it still stalls, protein is the next lever people miss. Moving to slide 5. Protein can stall ketosis when it is too high for your current needs. Protein raises insulin, less than carbs, but it is not 0. And your body can turn some amino acids into glucose when it needs it. That process is demand-driven. But if you are eating very large, very lean protein meals, you can create enough insulin and glucose supply to keep ketones low. 2 common traps. One is building every meal around huge portions of chicken breast, tuna, or egg whites, then wondering why you feel flat and hungry. The other is protein snacking all day, because frequent hits keep insulin from staying low long enough. Aim for a range, not a single magic number. Base protein on your goal body weight and activity, then adjust by results. If ketones are stuck and hunger is high, bring protein to moderate and stop grazing. That often opens the gate, even before you change anything else. Moving to slide 6. Ketosis is not the same thing as fat loss. It just means you are making ketones, usually because carbs are low. Fat loss still comes from a calorie deficit over time. Here is the trap. On keto, dietary fat tends to get burned before your stored body fat, because it is already in your bloodstream and easy to use. So if you add a lot of fat to every meal, you can stay in ketosis and still overfeed. Fat bombs are the classic example. They feel keto approved, but they are basically dense calories with very weak fullness for most people. The same goes for just coffee. Butter, MCT, heavy cream, and flavored creamers can turn a morning drink into a small meal, and your body counts it. And cheese. It is easy to nibble, easy to underestimate, and it stacks fast. If you want results, keep fat as a lever, not a free food. Ketones can stay high while progress stalls if you never really stop feeding the system. Moving to slide 7. If you feel like you are doing keto perfectly but nothing changes, look at how often you eat. Grazing keeps giving your body reasons to stay in storage mode. Even small snacks can bump insulin, especially if they include dairy, nuts, or keto treats. That does not mean insulin is bad. It means constant insulin is a bad fit when your goal is to access stored fuel. Keto snacks feel harmless because they are low carb. But if you are hitting food every 2 hours, you are repeatedly topping off energy. Your body does not need to pull much from body fat when energy keeps arriving. Liquid calories are another stealth problem. Keto shakes, cream and coffee, and fatty drinks digest quickly and do not always register as a real meal, so you stay hungry and keep sipping. Late eating matters too. A heavy late meal can keep glucose and insulin higher into the night and make the next morning harder. Try fewer eating windows for 1 week. Eat actual meals, stop grazing, and let the gaps do their job. Then notice how your body asks for salt when the gaps get longer. Moving to slide 8. On keto, you dump water and sodium, especially in the first weeks. If sodium drops too low, your body reads that as stress. That stress response can raise cortisol and adrenaline, and that can push glucose up, even if you ate 0 carbs. Then you feel shaky, tired, or headachy, and cravings suddenly look like an emergency. Before you assume your diet stopped working, try fixing electrolytes. Add salt to meals. Use a salted broth or electrolyte mix with enough sodium. Many people feel better with extra sodium earlier in the day. When sodium is stable, energy feels steadier, workouts feel less awful, and hunger is easier to interpret. Then, your sleep starts to show you whether ketones stay consistent. Moving to slide 9. If your ketones look random, check your sleep before you blame your food. Poor sleep raises cortisol. Cortisol helps you wake up, but when it stays high, your liver releases more glucose. So you can wake up with higher morning glucose even after a perfect keto day. That higher glucose can suppress ketone production for a while, and your meter makes it look like you did something wrong. Sleep loss also shifts hunger hormones. Many people get more ghrelin, less satiety, and stronger cravings for quick energy. That is why a bad night turns "I am fine" into snacking, bigger portions, and more late eating. Late screens make it worse by delaying sleep and keeping your brain stimulated. You do not need a perfect routine, you need a simple test. For 1 week, pick a consistent bedtime, dim screens in the last hour, and keep the room cool and dark. Track morning readings and hunger. When sleep improves, your numbers often stop arguing with you, and you realize how much of carb cravings was really just stress. Moving to slide 10. Stress can look exactly like carbs on your data. When you are stressed, cortisol and adrenaline rise. That tells the liver to release glucose, so you can handle the threat. Your glucose can spike, and ketones can dip, even if your meals were unchanged. Hard workouts can do it too. Intense lifting or intervals can raise glucose temporarily, especially if you are under-recovered. That is not failure. It is fuel being mobilized. Caffeine can stack the effect. If you are already stressed, adding more stimulants can keep glucose elevated longer and make you feel wired, then hungry. The move is consistency, not perfection. Lower caffeine when life is chaotic. Add a short walk, breathing, or a calm-down routine after work. When stress comes down, your readings stabilize, and you can finally tell whether the issue is your food or the way you are measuring it. Moving to slide 11. If you think you are not in ketosis, you might just be measuring wrong. Breath meters vary a lot between brands and how you use them. Urine strips fade as your body wastes fewer ketones, so the same diet can look worse over time. Blood meters are the most consistent, but they cost more. Even then, time of day, stress, sleep, and training can swing a single reading. Track trends across several days, not one number. Real progress shows up in patterns, and adaptation takes longer than your patience. Moving to slide 12. The first couple of weeks can feel weird, even when you are doing everything right. Early on, your body makes and uses ketones less efficiently, so readings and energy can look inconsistent. Glycogen can also linger longer than you expect, especially if you train hard, eat more protein, or had higher carbs recently. Performance may dip before it rebounds. Do not panic adjust every day. Hold a steady plan long enough to let your metabolism catch up. And if things never add up, medical factors can be the hidden variable. Moving to slide 13. Sometimes ketosis is slow because your physiology is working against you. Insulin resistance can keep glucose and insulin higher, which delays ketone production. Some medications can raise glucose, affect appetite, or change fluid balance, which can confuse your readings and results. Thyroid issues can change energy demand and how you feel during restriction. PCOS can add another layer through insulin dynamics. If you suspect any of this, do not guess. Bring your food log and measurements to your clinician and get guidance that fits your situation. Moving to slide 14. Here is a simple 7-day reset. Eat whole foods only, 2 meals a day, no snacks, and keep carbs very low. Hit protein in your target range, not 0 and not double. Add salt intentionally, especially if you feel lightheaded or flat, and drink to thirst. Keep fats to satisfaction, not as a goal. Measure trends, not single highs, using the same method and time of day. If this helped, subscribe for more practical nutrition breakdowns. Comment with your current ketone method and what you are seeing. This content is for education only and is not medical advice. Ketosis is a tool. Metabolic flexibility is the goal.